Hi everyone, welcome back to the Data Couple. Hope you guys are doing really well. So today we are starting on a new series on PySpark. This series is not going to be a tutorial on PySpark where we learn PySpark from scratch, but I will try to solve PySpark problems from a particular website. Yes, there is a lead code for PySpark, if you will. So this website is called Straight Scratch. Before we jump into the problems, I am going to give you a walkthrough on the website and then we will start with the problem solving. So without further ado, let's begin. Okay, so this is the website that I was talking about, which is basically straightscratch.com. So if you come to straightscratch.com, log in or sign up if you are on the first time, then go to coding questions and go over to analytical questions over here. Then scroll down a little bit. Then you have all these options to choose from, like PostgreSQL, MySQL, MS SQL Server, all these things. And then there you have the PySpark. So if you select PySpark, then you get all these questions over here. So that's a huge number of questions we have over in PySpark. So this is literally the lead code of PySpark. If you click on the free questions, you can also select your difficulty level. So since we are starting out, we will start our fundamentals. We will make our fundamentals very strong by solving few easy problems. We will get more confident on that, and then we will slowly move into medium and hard level problems. So we will start with easy problems now, and we will solve one problem today. And the problem is the very first problem, which is unique users per client per month. Okay, so let us start with this problem. So before starting with the problem, let me discuss the platform a little bit with you, so that when you start practicing on this platform, you do not get confused. So it is pretty similar to lead code. In the left hand side, you find the question and the detail about the question, and in the right hand side, you start writing your code, and bottom right, you will see your output. So the question over here is unique users per client per month. It is last updated on April 2025. So these are pretty a bunch of pretty updated or the latest questions, if you will. So these questions are this question particularly was asked in Apple, Dell, and Microsoft, as it mentions, and the difficulty level is easy. This is our question. Write a query that returns the number of unique users per client per month. We have been given a table called fact events. Now if you come to the right hand side, you see that PySpark is already imported, and in the next line you see they are saying that start writing your code, and they have given something called fact events. So the fact events we also see here is a table. So what is this fact events over here? So this is the data frame that they have already created. So you don't need to create a data frame from scratch. You can start working from the data frame that's already been given to you. And finally, to validate your solutions, convert your final PySpark DF to a pandas DF. So they are evaluating our solution using pandas. So we need to convert our data frame to pandas data frame. So let us solve this problem. So the problem is write a query that returns the number of unique users per client per month. So there are two stages of grouping we need to do. One stage or the first stage of grouping is client, and the second stage is month. Now let us see what the table looks like. So the table looks like this. It has ID column, time ID column, user ID, customer ID, client ID, event type, and event ID. So there's no such column as month. So we need to extract month from somewhere. From where we have this date data type over here for time ID. So we need to extract the month from time ID. Now we have a function called month, right? How do we import that function? We need to call the PySpark.sql.functions module. From there we can call the function month, and then we can extract the month from this time ID, and we already have the client ID. Now let us look at the expected output. So they are expecting the output should be like this. So the required columns are like client ID, month, and users num. Okay, so we need to create this users num column by our final aggregation. Our final aggregation will be what? We need to count the distinct users. Let's have a look at the fact events preview. So here you see the time ID is consisting of the month, right? So we need to extract this month. So this is pretty much how the table looks like. This is our input record. So we have the fact underscore events data frame. So first we need to extract the month, right? To do that we need to use with column. Okay, so before doing this we also need to import from PySpark.sql import functions as f, because inside this functions module we have the month function which we will be calling. Okay, so with column we will have month, and column name is month, and the column on which we are using this is time id, right? So we have extracted the month and we are calling it as month. Now let's give it a name, let's say df with month. Okay, now we are done with our first step. In the second step we will do grouping. We will need to group by client id first, and then we need to group by month, and then finally we need to count the distinct user. How do we do that? We use count distinct functions. Let's see how do we do that. So we have df with month dot group by client id and then by month. Okay, and then dot aggregate. What type of aggregation we are doing? We are basically doing count distinct. Count distinct on which column? We will go for user id. We need to count user id. Okay, so user id, and we need to give it a name as this one, as users num dot alias users num. Okay, so df with month group by client id month, and we are doing the aggregation function. So we are done. We need to store it. Let's say we call it a result equals to this, and we need to finally convert this to pandas data frame. So let's run the code and check whether we are correct or not. Okay, so we can see we have got the client id month and username. So desktop 411, desktop 411. So we are getting some output, but we need to check the solution whether we are correct or not. So check solution is kind of submit. So the execution time over here is 1.23 seconds and it is solved. So we have provided the correct answer. All right, so we are done with our first problem in this video series. If you like the content, please consider liking this video, subscribe to the Data Couple, and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss out on the upcoming videos. Thanks for joining in today, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.